Good morning. It's Monday the 10th of October, just after 8 o'clock. I hope you're all well. Excuse me. I'm worried about immigration in the United Kingdom into my country. It's a very difficult and very delicate subject to talk about. I know a lot of people have very radical views on it, very strong views, but I think it's something that we do need to talk about. The first thing I'm going to say is immigration, legal immigration into this country is absolutely critical. We need it. We need to welcome and we need to bring in talents, resources, people who will make positive changes and contribute positively to British society. Whether that's doctors, scientists, brain surgeons, road sweepers, nurses, doesn't matter. We need positive, constructive people in this country. So, just to make it very clear, I am not against immigration. However, I do feel that successive governments over the last 20 or 30 years have not paid attention and not managed the immigration system properly. They have withdrawn and underfunded services. They have cancelled and closed services. And they've created a system that has been open to abuse and misuse. And once that abuse and misuse has taken place, they don't seem to want to actively resolve the situation. They don't seem to want to remove people who are not playing by the rules. And that creates a bit of a free-for-all. So let's look at the different types of immigration. I guess there's the people who come in through the visa schemes. I know they pay a lot of money. They pay money up front. They pay contributions to the NHS and to other social services. Like I say, not have a problem with that. Then there seems to be a growing number of people who are coming into this country as economic migrants. They want a better life, which is fair enough, but they don't want it in their own countries. They think this country will offer them an easier way to obtaining that better life. They want to come into this country and use the benefit system, use the housing, social services, everything that we can provide for them as an easy route to an easy life. These people come in on small boats or smuggled in on lorries or cross the borders in some illegal way. And let's be very clear, at that point, because they don't have documentation, because they aren't coming in through normal channels, it is illegal. I think once these people come into the country, they can go in two different directions. They can declare themselves to the authorities. They can claim asylum. And at that point, they enter into a legal system. And we owe them, or we don't really own them, we are obliged to provide them with a protected system while they are going through that process. Housing, food, water, shelter, services. Then there's the alternative route where they come into this country with no paperwork, no documentation, no intention of registering or revealing themselves. They go into the black economy, they feed crime, they live off crime, and they are a drain on our resources. They are a drain on our society. And they're the people who I do not think have any right to be here. And when they are caught, they are the people who need to be removed rapidly. Now, going back to the people who come in and apply for the asylum system, it's a long drawn out process. I think it's made more complicated by people taking advantage of loopholes and weaknesses in that system that genuinely need to be tightened up. They know that they can disappear, that they can slow the system down, they can play all sorts of different angles, human rights and everything else. And again, don't get me wrong, human rights are important, but they can also be abused. Those rights can be taken advantage of. Once the person has gone through the asylum process and failed, or let's face it, and failed, they can go through, I believe, multiple appeal processes where they can try and find different ways of applying, different reasons to apply, and so on. But when they've gone through all those processes and they've exhausted all possible options, then they are no longer legally in this country. And at that point, they need to be removed as quickly as possible, just the same as you would remove an illegal immigrant. And again, this is where the system is broken. We don't have the resources or the systems or the departments or the government agencies in place to action that. We simply leave them to carry on. Well, that's very much what it feels like. I know we do remove some, but nowhere near the numbers that we need to be removing. And then, after they've been in this country for so long illegally, they've set up family, they've probably set up businesses, they've probably established themselves, and then they go with the argument of, well, I'm established here, I've got a right to family life, I've got a right to this. And again, because our system is broken, we cave in and we just leave them. So all of that, all of those things that have happened, again, not just through the Labour government that's in at the moment, not through the Conservative government, which has been there for 14 years, who have really not helped. So they need to shut up. But once they're in, once they're here, and the numbers that they're in, it's then giving ammunition to extremists, extreme haters, extreme racist, extreme right-wing groups. It's giving all of those people the ammunition they need to generate hatred within the normal society, within normal people. And that is becoming incredibly destructive for the whole of society. That level of hatred that people feel empowered now to vocalise, to demonstrate, is genuinely frightening. And if the governments and authorities had done a better job, had identified the weaknesses, had stood up for the people of this country, then maybe we wouldn't be in the difficult situation that we find ourselves in today. Maybe we wouldn't be on the verge of what I feel is civil unrest. There wouldn't be gangs of council estate thugs and chavs chunking down cans of beer, wrap themselves up in flags and shouting, send them all home. There wouldn't be people like that. Or at least if there were people like that, they wouldn't be so vocal. They wouldn't feel so strong and untouchable. So I say to all the governments, all the politicians, all the leaders of this country, take a look at what's happening. Think about it very carefully. Come up with some really constructive ideas. Stop fighting this on a party political level. Fight this on a joint level. Get together. Put your differences apart. Find what the best solution for this country is and start to implement it. Because if you don't, there will be some serious consequences, and I dread to think, what those changes are going to be. So there we go. That's my thoughts today on the immigration system and the immigration status in this country. Difficult one. Take care. Have a good week. Talk later. Hi again. Just quickly want to add a footnote to the video. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. It is a learning process for me, so come back in a couple of years' time and I'll be a millionaire and a YouTube influencer and maybe a little bit better polished videos. In the meantime, it only goes to say, please subscribe, please hit the like button and leave your comments below, and I'll be very happy to interact with anything you say.